How is Colorado faring as a retirement destination in 2022 and beyond? I've got you covered. Hey everyone, it's Alyson Wahl with Live South Denver, your real estate strategist and realtor for the South Denver area. So I've got to tell you, I posted this video back in February of 2020, and not a lot has changed in terms of rankings for Colorado for best places to retire. Not a lot of new data, no one's been doing research. Maybe it has a lot to do with what's been going on in the world for the last 24 months or so. I'll make sure you have access to that video at the end of this one. Nothing in that video has been debunked, ousted. I stand by everything in there. It's all still legit. But I think there's a lot that I can add to it, so that's what this video covers. WalletHub refreshed their best places to retire data in September of 2021. Thank you to them for giving us some fresh numbers and information. Denver held strong as the number 6 best city for retirees. WalletHub used 48 different metrics to rank each city, ranging from cost of living to retired taxpayer friendliness to state health infrastructure, just to name a few. I'll link directly to that WalletHub page down in the description box below, because you might like to go look at it, play with it. You can actually sort each city by some of the different variables. You can sort by affordability. You can sort by availability. You can sort by activity ranking. You can sort by healthcare ranking. One of the things you'll notice is as you sort by those, the opposite ranking doesn't always look so hot. So when you sort for affordability, what you'll find is the city that is the most affordable doesn't necessarily have the best lifestyle, which would be the activity rankings, and doesn't always have the greatest healthcare rankings. Flip that around, search for the city that has a great activity rankings, awesome lifestyle, generally not the most affordable city to live in. That's why WalletHub tries to use their matrix, mesh it all together, and come up with a great list that organizes them, balancing everything out for you. So Denver comes in number 6, and if you can't tell, I am pretty proud of our city. Safety is a topic that comes up quite a lot no matter whom I'm talking to. I've got folks who want to live in gated communities. I've got families who ask me to make sure that the neighborhoods that they're looking at are ones where their kids can ride bikes freely up and down the street and the parents don't have to watch and worry all the time. I've got folks who want to be able to walk their pets and walk with friends to exercise outdoors without a thought or a care in the world. Safety is always on people's minds. ElitePersonalFinance.com every year ranks the top safest cities in each state. They do this by the size of each city because obviously smaller towns tend to have much lower crime ratings than the bigger ones. When we look at the largest cities here in Colorado, these are our top 10 safest cities for you to look at. Number 10 is Westminster. Number 9 is Thornton. Number 8 is Boulder. Number 7 is Arvada. So all of these are up on the north side of Denver. Number 6 is Fort Collins, all the way up into NoCo, as we call it, Northern Colorado, where CSU is. I'm an alum. Awesome town. Number 5 is Inglewood. Number 4 is Broomfield. Number 3 is Parker. Number 2 is Littleton. And number 1 is Castle Rock. One of the towns that wasn't even named in this list, not found anywhere, is Centennial, Colorado. Centennial's old enough now that they should have their own set of data. If I were to play a guessing man's game, Centennial would have been somewhere in the top 4 for safest towns most likely, and would have bumped out the number 10 town. But we don't have data. I couldn't tell you for sure. I'll include the link to ElitePersonalFinance.com and this page in the description box down below so you can go check them out. Check all the lists of safest cities by size. You can check out the sources they use, anything else you may be interested in. So, do I have any new cities to add to my best places to retire list in addition to what was in that February 2020 video? Absolutely, I do. First, let me say any place in Colorado that fits your budget and your lifestyle preference is the place to go. If you want to live in a ski town or up in Evergreen, halfway between town and the mountains, go for it. It's fantastic. If you're looking for a place a little warmer, a little flatter, that's awesome too. We've got it. You could have a condo downtown where you have an elevator to get up to your floor, covered parking, you have walkable access to the arts. Your lifestyle's uber convenient and you can get up into the mountains whenever you'd like, or you could take the ski train. You could choose to have a car, choose not to. Your lifestyle could be easy peasy. You could have land, privacy, mountains, trees, totally doable. We've got 55 plus communities ranging from townhouses or condos to single family homes with community centers and activities. Or if you prefer a golf community or a lifestyle community that's more of an all ages lifestyle, we absolutely have those too. So starting at the northernmost part of I-25 and moving south, top hits among my almost retired and definitely retired folks include Fort Collins. Yep, that college town is hard to beat. There's so much to do there. The university brings a lot of life and vibrancy to town. So obviously you'll have sporting events, arts events, great lectures. There's a lot to do in town thanks to all that the university brings and offers. Walt Disney used downtown Fort Collins as inspiration for his Main Street USA, so you know it's got to be fantastic. Proximity to hiking, trails, rafting, great outdoor lifestyle is crazy close and it's gorgeous up there. Your access to Denver is going to be over an hour, especially door to door from where you choose to live and getting into Denver and an event. That time is compressing as they finish up the toll road that extends from Denver all the way up into Fort Collins though. Next is Loveland. You get great access to Fort Collins and all that the college town has to offer without being in a college town, because sometimes all of those students can make life a little bit crazy and there's a lot of traffic in Fort Collins. Fort Collins is the major employment hub up in northern Colorado, so there is a lot more tension in those morning and afternoon times with traffic flow. Also, being out of the college town and the employment hub will give you a lot more bang for your buck in the housing department. That's another plus to Loveland. It's an artsy community historically, so they haven't lost all of that charm, but they've really grown. So you've got new retail centers, new medical centers, lots of new construction, and it's the gateway to Estes Park. It's really, really pretty. There's a lot there, and there are a lot of lakes up in this northern Colorado area on the west side. So there is some potential, if you work really hard at it, to be able to get a home both on the water and have the mountains nearby or have a mountain view. That's not the easiest thing to achieve across Colorado. So that's probably the sweet spot there in and around this area to get that. Door to door, you're still a little over an hour down into Denver. Again, that's shrinking with the establishment of the toll road as long as you're willing to pay the toll every time you need to head into town. Okay, all the way down into Denver proper, another big hit is Broomfield. There are two communities in Broomfield that I find are really exciting and invigorating to my folks. One is the Baseline community. This is a walkable community. That's what it's designed for. There is a main street, shops, restaurants, services right there in the center, parks, places to walk dogs, and then everything is being built around that. There's even going to be a healthcare facility built there. The only thing that's a downside of Baseline is there really isn't much coming in the way of one-level living. Almost everything is multi-story because they're trying to pack in as much livable space into this small area as they can. So if you're great with stairs, you really might like the Baseline location. Another popular area, well established, no new construction left, is the Anthem 55 plus community in Broomfield. Very lovely. There's some nice mountain views over there. Of course, you get the built-in community of the 55 plus piece, always a hit. Oakwood Homes seems to be building themselves a little bit of an empire over on the northeast side of town. So we're kind of doing a zigzag from Broomfield on the northwest side over to Denver on the northeast side. So Oakwood Homes has built a couple different communities over closer to the airport, actually. They have already completed the Reserve and Fairway Villas, and these are in Green Valley Ranch. Upcoming this year in 2022 is a yet to be named community in Reunion, a subdivision in Commerce City. So these are 55 plus. Their previous two communities have been on a golf course with amenities, nice sized homes. So the price points have been good, and in part because of where they're building them. The land out there has been cheaper to get. So that's made it really attractive from a price point perspective. And then of course the 55 plus piece always has a good draw. If you travel a lot, being close to the airport's nice. And don't worry, so far we haven't had much in the way of noise pollution from the planes. They land from the east, and all of these locations sit to the west of the airport. The only downside I see so far to this Reunion location is that Reunion does have a higher tax rate out there, and you don't ever get rid of a higher tax rate. So just keep your eyes and ears attuned to that as you head into Denver and look at different locations where you might want to live. coming all the way through town down to Castle Rock and Castle Pines. These are huge hits, big favorites. Castle Rock is home to Montaigne, that's Toll Brothers 55 plus community. This one's been selling like hotcakes. They have some very small, modest size ranches, and actually these sell really well. People aren't looking for a lot of home to keep up, right? They're looking more for the amenities, the outdoor lifestyle, being able to lock up, leave. Maybe it's their second home, or they want to just jaunt off, travel, and then have the community component of it. The amenities in Montaigne are lovely. Here's a video on Montaigne if you have not had a chance to see that yet. On the flip side, I have plenty of folks tell me, I don't want to live in a community with all people only my age. Thank you very much. So when that's the case, I direct them up to the Canyons in Castle Pines. Another absolutely phenomenal community, all ages, great amenities, lifestyle director, events, activities. There's so much to do in this community, and it's also beautiful. The terrain is great. Both communities have great access to all that Castle Rock has to offer, because you really don't need to leave Castle Rock for your daily life. You just need to head out when you want to do a major event. Head to the mountains, go to a sporting event, go to an arts event, have a really great dinner from one of our downtown chefs. Otherwise, Castle Rock's got everything you need, and both have great access. In that same area, for those who are avid golfers and have a bigger budget, Castle Pines Village does hit the radar. It is a securely gated community with gorgeous homes. There are paired homes and there are single family custom homes. So the options are pretty wide in here in terms of choice. The draw is typically the Jack Nicklaus Golf Course, the gated community, the clubhouse, the membership, and the fact that you've got shopping and dining right outside the gates when you aren't that interested in what the clubhouse has to offer at the restaurant. I know the chef at the restaurant. I actually sold him his home when he moved here. He runs an excellent kitchen. You will not be disappointed there. Okay, even though we have hit the southernmost point of the Denver metro area, we're not stopping. There are still some great options left, and we're talking about Monument and Colorado Springs. I often take my buyers outside of their comfort zone and we head a little farther south. Now, sure, every once in a while they come to me and ask to go to Monument and Colorado Springs, but more often than not, what I hear is, I don't want to go to Monument and Colorado Springs. I was there 30 years ago when I was here in the military, when I worked here in oil and gas. I don't like it down there. Monument's nothing, and Colorado Springs was boring. Well, it's changed so much, as you might imagine, over 30 plus years. So after we go through some house hunting in their dream list, and then we find that either the wait list is really long to get what they want, or it's really stretching their budget. They've given me their max budget and then given me their ideal budget, and we could maybe do it, but we can definitely do it in the Springs and leverage that gap, that differential for something else, right? Save it, go travel, visit grandkids, invest it, just leveraging it for something else. We end up taking the trip down to Monument and the Springs, and over the course of a day or two, maybe a couple weekends, the tide starts to turn inside. The logic wheels on the one half of the couple go this way, the emotional connection in the other half of the couple go this way as well, and all of a sudden we find, aha, this works. I have a lot of folks who have built what becomes their dream home in Monument and the Springs just because of all that they have to offer down there. The mountains loom very large when you're down there. For those of you who have been, you'll remember Pikes Peak is very close. The range just feels right in your face. The difference is now, if you haven't been in a while, the retail is new and fresh. There's so much more of it. The area is so vital and inviting, especially on the north end, which is really where I specialize in taking my folks and what they're most interested in. It feels just like most of South Denver. It feels like a Highlands Ranch, a Lone Tree, a Parker. Up on the north side, it feels like the fresh parts of Broomfield. And by the way, US News and World Reports agrees with this. They named Colorado Springs the number 6 best city to move to across 2021 and 2022. Now, they did name Boulder the very best city to move to across that same time. I love every part of Colorado, I have to tell you, but they named the most expensive city across the entire Front Range as the best place in the US to move to. So maybe we have to take their findings with a little grain of salt. Not sure. Grab your no-hassle South Denver relocation guide in the description box down below and watch this short playlist on retiring in Colorado. If you have any questions, please reach out. You know I would love to connect with you. You can call, text, email, whatever works for you. Hey, I will see y'all next week.